I've been asked to demonstrate how to create a coupon for an encapsulant adhesion test. This is what the finished product looks like. What it is I'll start with a thick glass slide to which, with the encapsulant, I'll laminate a thin microscope slide. This is a Fisher product. It's roughly 150 microns thick, and it's 45 by 50 millimeters on a side. Ideally, I'd like a little something bigger, but this is an off-the-shelf product that's easy to order. The reason why I'm laminating the thin microscope slide to the thick slide of glass is so I'll always have a glass encapsulant interface to test. For instance, if I were just to laminate my titanium beam to my large slide of glass, if I do my test, I might open up the interface between the encapsulant and the titanium, and that's not what I'm interested in testing. I'm interested in testing the adhesion between the encapsulant and the glass. So after I do the lamination, this is what it looks like. It looks almost identical. I know it's hard to see, but that thin microscope slide is now laminated to this slide of glass. And to prepare the sample, again, I have a titanium with tapered beam, some clean towels and IPA for cleaning, a cotton swab, and the DP 420 epoxy, along with a couple binder clips. So real similar to all the other sample preparation processes, I'll use an IPA to clean both the beam and whatever the coupon is. And then I like to both dispense and mix the epoxy right onto the beam. Because the coupon here is pretty small, I don't need to cover the entire beam with epoxy. And for these coupon level measurements, I like to have the handle of the beam, the part my fingers are holding, overhang the edge to start the test. So I won't cover that either. Should about do it. I'll place it off to one side of the coupon, and that will make it easier to clamp down to my platen or my bench when I do the measurement. For this DP 420 epoxy, the oven can be closer to 80 degrees for its elevated temperature cure. And after it's been in there for just 5 or 10 minutes, I'll take it out, remove any excess that has squeezed out, and then put it back in the oven for an overnight cure. The epoxy is fully cured on this sample. I went ahead and removed any excess that had squeezed out, and we're ready to prepare it for testing. This is, again, the titanium beam, epoxy to a thin microscope slide that's in turn laminated with encapsulant to the thicker slide of glass. The first step in preparing for testing is to section through that thin microscope slide to release the beam. Again, I like to use a diamond or carbide scribe and grind through that thin 150 micron thick microscope slide. I use the beam as a guide with light pressure, and it's pretty easy to get through. And you'll feel the gummy encapsulant underneath once you break through. So you do this along both sides, releasing the beam. Then once you've created a nice channel where the microscope slide is ground away, I like to go back through with a sharp razor and make sure I've cut through all the encapsulant. So there's nothing adjacent to the beam holding it down. Now we're ready to test.